all of you here today. I'm going to talk about our 10-year strategy to keep YVR one of the best airports in the world, an airport that remains an economic engine for British Columbia. Now, Mary introduced my presentation, and the video that she showed you explained the different competitive environment that we face today. Well, in order to remain competitive, we have to be flexible and innovative. Airport infrastructure, as you can see, is big. It can take years to build, and we need to incorporate flexibility into our facilities and our processes. And this is what our strategy is designed to do. It will make our terminal more efficient, faster, and user-friendly for passengers and for airlines. But more than that, it will expand British Columbians' connectivity to the global economy. And that connectivity facilitates business and generates jobs. I'm going to talk about some of the specific investment and policy initiatives that we're working on as part of our strategy. But I want to spend a few minutes first talking a bit more about what's in it for British Columbians. First, our goal is to make YVR a better airport for every passenger. We value all our customers, and initiatives that we're taking will make traveling through YVR more comfortable and less of a hassle for everyone. Second, we're undertaking these initiatives to attract more air service to more destinations. The local British Columbia market alone can't support the diversity and frequency of service that this community requires. Mary talked about this community's long-standing vision of being a gateway between the Americas and the Asia Pacific. Well, as a gateway airport, we add passengers traveling on to other parts of Canada or the United States to those destined for Vancouver. And by expanding our passenger base, we achieve the critical mass that's needed for this community to attract direct air service to new markets like Guangzhou. Air service generates jobs, both direct jobs here at the airport and jobs in our community. More than 23,000 people work here at the airport. And we expect that our gateway development strategy will generate almost 2,000 new jobs at the airport over the next 5 years. I'd like to give a couple examples of the employment impact of new air services. On May 24th, Virgin Atlantic will begin 4 times a week seasonal service to London. This service is expected to generate 35 jobs at the airport, paying $1.7 million in wages, contributing $900,000 in taxes, and adding $3 million to the BC economy. The additional visitors that this flight will bring to BC will generate another 172 jobs in BC's hotels, restaurants, shops, and tourist destinations, adding another $7.4 million to BC's GDP. In June, Sichuan Airlines will begin year-round service 3 times a week from Chengdu, China, a city with a population of 14 million, with a stop in Shenyang, a somewhat smaller city with a population of only 8 million, and then on to Vancouver. This service will be bringing Chinese tour groups to BC. This flight is expected to generate 56 jobs at the airport and another 260 jobs in the tourism sector. Counting all these jobs, the total economic impact of this flight will be $10.7 million in wages, $6 million in taxes, and a $16 million contribution to BC's GDP. Well, this added economic activity, of course, is good for all of us. And as of this summer, YVR will be the only airport in North America served by 5 Chinese carriers. And these carriers, along with Air Canada, will offer 61 frequencies a week to China this summer. We would not have this diversity of carriers or frequency of service to China if we were not pursuing a gateway strategy. Now I'd like to talk about some of the specific policy steps and improvements we'll be making at the airport. We'll be investing nearly $1.8 billion over the next 10 years. And here I'd like to commend the province for one of the steps that it took that supports our strategy. In its 2012 budget, the province agreed to eliminate the fuel tax on international flights, a cost that airlines don't pay in Alberta, Washington, or California. But keeping fees to the airlines low is not enough, however, to attract and retain new carriers. As I said, part of being a competitive airport is making the airport faster and easier for passengers and airlines. And our ability to process connecting passengers is frankly one area where we're behind the curve. The minimum time it takes to transfer from an international to a domestic flight at YVR is not competitive. It takes an average of 90 minutes to make that connection. In fact, our partners at Air Canada say we have the longest connection time among Canada's major airports. Well, to be a gateway airport of choice from Asia, we need to get connection times to less than 60 minutes. To explain some of the improvements we're making to our terminal, I'm going to use a short video. We'll follow a passenger arriving on an international flight and making his way to a domestic connection in Pier A. And those of you familiar with the terminal know it's a long walk. This shows our passenger making his way to the Customs and Immigration Hall. Well, today a connecting passenger goes through border inspection in the same Customs Hall with all arriving passengers. He picks up his bag, exits the Customs and Immigration Hall, and then rechecks his bag for his domestic flight. Of course, that takes time. He then walks out into the pre-security area to the domestic terminal. Now, because he has touched his bag and mingled with non-screened passengers, he has to go through the pre-board security clearance all over again. And again, as you would know, this adds considerable time to making the connection. Well, this will all change when a number of projects are completed by 2015. A major renovation to the south end of the domestic terminal, new post-security connecting corridors, a new high-speed baggage system, and a dedicated separate border inspection facility for connecting passengers. So in 2015, we pick our passenger up where the process will diverge from what happens today. Our connecting passenger now goes through a dedicated post-security corridor that will include moving walkways. It's a shorter route. It will save 10 minutes. He also goes through a separate border inspection facility for connecting passengers, and from there on to his gate. He doesn't go through pre-board security again, saving at least another 10 minutes. You'll also note that our passenger didn't pick up or recheck his bag, which would save another 20 minutes. We're working with the federal government on a policy change that, if approved, would mean that you would no longer have to pick up and recheck your bag when making a connection. Passengers' bags would be transferred from plane to plane with appropriate security procedures in the middle, and they wouldn't have to collect their bag until their final destination. Well, these projects also include upgrading one of the few remaining areas of the domestic terminal that still dates back to 1968. A few years ago, we upgraded C Pier, the area primarily used by Air Canada for its domestic flights. When complete in 2015, the A, B piers of the domestic terminal, primarily used by WestJet, will have a similar look and feel to C Pier, much brighter and easier for passengers to circulate. Well, the airport, in many ways, is like a small city. Besides the project I've already mentioned, that the $1.8 billion investment will also include projects to ensure that Sea Island infrastructure, runways, taxiways, roads, water, sewer, dikes, all remain in good repair. Other projects will enhance customer service, and so others will support our continuous improvement of safety and security. As Glenn mentioned, these infrastructure investments are funded in part by the airport improvement fee. Earlier in this year, we announced an increase in the fee to $20, and that went into effect on May 1st. The fee for travel within BC and the Yukon remains at $5. These funds have and will continue to be used only for investment in improvements to our facilities. I also mentioned that government policy has a key role in our gateway strategy and in helping us to serve all our customers better. One such policy is Transbout Visa. This is a program that allows foreign passengers to transit Canada without the need to obtain a Canadian visa, provided they have a visa to the US. The government created a trial program for Chinese nationals and recently approved Air China to participate in the program, joining Air Canada and Cathay Pacific. The program goes a long way toward helping Canada become China's gateway to the Americas. Now, we know that our customers don't like long lines. And the customs hall used to be a place where we frequently had long waits. But working closely with the Canada Border Services Agency, we came up with an innovative solution. We took the kiosk technology that eliminated long lines at check-in and developed kiosks to complete border formalities. The automated border clearance program, which began as a pilot project, was recently made permanent, and this solution will be expanded to other airports in Canada. Well, the airport is not just, of course, the Airport Authority. It's the 23,000 employees from the 400 different businesses and organizations that operate here on Sea Island. And I want to acknowledge and thank them because they all play a big part in serving the community and making YVR an airport that ranks among the world's best. On July 1st of this year, the Airport Authority will celebrate its 20th anniversary. And I want to take a minute to particularly thank the Airport Authority employees for their stellar efforts over those 20 years. I know they are proud to have built a better airport for British Columbians. Well, as I said in the beginning, YVR continues to face new challenges, but we remain committed to delivering on our mission of proudly connecting British Columbians to the world. Thank you.